I'm moving, I'm moving, I'm moving, I'm moving, I'm moving, I'm moving.
What's poppin', guys? It's your boy Jay. That's me. Let's discuss Smackdown for June the 2nd, 2023. Really good show because of the Bloodline stuff. Outside of the Bloodline stuff, it was okay at best. That was the main selling point of the show, was the 1,000-day celebration of Roman Reigns as the WWE Universal Champion. So, we kicked the show off with a very good video package being narrated by one Paul Heyman, going over the 1,000-day reign as champion for Roman Reigns. This was great. I enjoyed it. This was great. Really good stuff. So Austin Theory, he comes out. He compares his reign as U.S. champion with Roman Reigns, saying that it will be a 1,209-day reign. Then we see Money in the Bank briefcases being held up high. Not really that important. Austin Theory says this is a special night. He goes on praising his own title reign, calling it inspiring and impressive. He touts his WrestleMania win over John Cena, and that's rained down with boos. Austin Theory goes on about how he'll have a 1,000 or 3,000 or possibly even 4,000 day celebration as he'll be champion forever if WWE keeps giving him opponents like Sheamus. Austin Theory then comments on surrounding yourself with the greatness and says, what these two did, these two did the right thing. Talking about Pretty Deadly last week, having him retain over Sheamus. So in comes Pretty Deadly, which is Kit Wilson and Elton Prince. Kit Wilson says it was their pleasure last week. They go on praising Theory and showing him appreciation until they're interrupted by the Brawling Brutes. This leads us into our first match of the night. Pretty Deadly and Austin Theory versus the Brawling Brutes. So, Pretty Deadly, they get the win here via the spilt milk, which is great. I love what they're doing with Pretty Deadly. The only thing I don't like is that they changed their theme song. So, there's that, but I've come to accept that WWE is going to just constantly change people's theme songs. That's just what they do. And there's nothing we can do about it. All in all, I like what they've done with Pretty Deadly so far. I'm guessing they're going to continue to feud with the Brawling Brutes going forward, which actually makes sense. So Paul Heyman, he's walking backstage with Roman Reigns' gold. He enters their locker room. So Paul Heyman, he's talking to Sikoa backstage about how special tonight needs to be for the tribal chief. Paul Heyman says he's going to talk to Adam Pearce to make sure that the Usos, Solo's brothers, are nowhere near the arena tonight, and they're not going to be seen tonight. That doesn't happen. Spoiler alert. We then see how Seth Rollins won the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at Night of Champions. Okay. Then we see a useless video of the OC. They are wishing AJ Styles a happy birthday, which is great. So AJ apologizes for ruining their night on Saturday with Night of Champions loss. They go on, and AJ says for his birthday he wants to see the OC take out Hit Row tonight. And it's like, AJ, you should have better wishes than that. Your wish should be that the OC gets better as a tag team, and they've done nothing so far on SmackDown. They've done nothing. So this leads us into Hit Row versus the OC. The OC gets the win here. Who cares? They win via the Magic Killer. Post-match, AJ hits the Phenomenal Forearm on Top Dollar, Flop Dollar. to a big pop. Who cares? I actually see Hit Row probably being released when it's time for cuts. I guarantee you they're going to get released. Hate to say it, but it's going to happen. Let's just be honest. They ain't got no plans for Hit Row. They should have even brought them back. I don't know why Triple H even wasted his time bringing back Hit Row. But whatever. Waste of money. I mean, they could have been doing something else. The only one that has potential in Hit Row now is Shanti the Adonis. Moving on. So, Paul Heyman, he enters in Adam Pearce's office in the back. Adam Pearce says travel events with the Usos have been canceled for tonight. And he has doubled security in case the Usos want to show up tonight. Paul Heyman then calls Roman Reigns and walks away. So, we get a grand introduction by Mike Rome for Grayson Waller. So this kind of reminds me of what Jason Roberts does for Kenny Omega when he comes to the ring all the time, which is great. So I do like this. Now, this was a bad segment. I'm not going to hold you guys up. This was an awful segment. So, Grayson Waller says it's what a week it's been. And here he is once again delivering the biggest guest. He introduces new Raw Women's Champion, Asuka. She comes out. Grayson Waller shows us how Asuka won the title at Night of Champions from Bianca Belair. Asuka says something in Japanese, and Grayson Waller agrees. Grayson Waller mentions how Bianca will be coming for Asuka, and there will be a Money in the Bank briefcase holder soon. Asuka isn't worried. So, we see the blue mist in Asuka's mouth as Grayson Waller says what she did with the mist at Night of Champions was genius. So, then this is when the show goes off the rails. The segment goes off the rails 1,000%. So, Io Sky comes out. Her and Asuka yell at each other in Japanese for a second. Waller then says this is his show. He yells about it. Then Bayley comes out. She interrupts and says, yes, the member of Damage Control will win the Money in the Bank. Bayley then continues to rant, and then Shotzi does the same thing. She says that she was made for the chaos and Money in the Bank. Then Lacey Evans comes out and says she wants to be saluted. She goes on about how the contract will be hers, but first she has to beat the Shrimps, which is Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega comes out, then she insults Lacey Evans, and they all have words, which is so stupid. Grayson Waller then says he's loving this and says he loves America. So Asuka's on the stage, and she says that no one's ready for Asuka. Bianca attacks her from behind. They have a little brawl. It's pulled apart by the officials. And we don't even see the other women in the ring after this. And I'm just like, what the hell is this? This is all a waste of time. This is so stupid. I wanted to throw my TV when I saw this. Like, this was extremely just ignorant. I hate when they do segments like this. I absolutely hate it. It's stupid. So, we see how Baron Corbin attacked Carmelo Hayes last Tuesday on NXT. Cameron Grimes is backstage watching with Adam Pearce now. He says that Corbin did the same thing to him last week. So, Cameron Grimes asks if Corbin will be here tonight. Pearce says no, due to Corbin's free agency. We won't see him until Tuesday. Grimes says, okay, I'm pretty sure that Carmelo has that. But Grimes says he'll handle Baron Corbin the next time he shows up and shows his face around here. Okay, I'm fine with that, I guess. Not really all that important. I think that Baron Corbin is probably going to stay in NXT a little bit longer. I don't think he's going to stay in for a couple of weeks. He's not going to do like an AJ Styles type of run. He's trying to stay in a little bit longer. Because he's been on the main roster for so long. And I think having a new change of scenery for him and Ali is absolutely a good thing. And it would make sense. If we're being honest. Let's just be honest here. So this leads us into Zelina Vega versus Lacey Evans. Money in the Bank qualifier. So Zelina Vega wins via a code red out of nowhere, which is aka the Canadian Destroyer. Yawn. Zelina Vega's not winning this. Like, let's just be honest here. Moving on. So we get a look at Roman Reigns defeating Sami Zayn at Elimination Chamber. That was good. Moving on. So Santos Escobar, he's backstage talking to the rest of the LWO about what the LWO means to Latinos around the world. He mentions how he will win his Money in the Bank qualifier next week. Rey Mysterio shows up and predicts that Escobar and Zelina Vega will be Mr. and Mrs. Money in the Bank. Ray's like, can you see it? And I'm like, no, Ray, I cannot see it. No. This is a bad idea. Santos Escobar is not going to win. Again, Money in the Bank is just shaping up to not even be that good. Like, I like Santos Escobar, but come on, he's not going to win Money in the Bank. Standing with Zelina Vega. Seriously, let's just be honest. Next, our second Money in the Bank qualifier. It's time for the men. LA Knight versus Montez Ford. LA Knight wins, which is great. So, that makes sense. So, he wins via a roll-up, and then he puts his hand on the ropes with 1, 2, 3. I'm fine with this. LA Knight winning, this is fine. It's not really going to matter that much. I don't see LA Knight winning. I really don't. I don't know who's going to win. We get a really good vignette for Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, who are still the NXT Women's Champions, the Women's Tag Team Champions. Like, what are we doing with this shit over here? Are we going to have these ladies face Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler and unify the titles? What are we doing here? Like, why do we still have them together with the NXT Tag Team Championships for the women? I don't know. But the vignette was cool. I enjoyed it. They were doing like a bunch of like pagan spells and stuff. That was pretty cool. So, out comes Triple H. So then we see Roman Reigns' win over Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, which still kind of irks me. I kind of wish that Cody would have won at WrestleMania. It would have made the most sense. So we can see the downfall of the bloodline, which I do think that we're still seeing. Triple H is in the ring. He says, on occasion, an athlete comes along, and they're so dominant that they are talked about for generations to come. In boxing, it was Muhammad Ali. In basketball, it was Michael Jordan. And in WWE, we now have the privilege of witnessing greatness live, and says he will be talked about for generations. Triple H calls on the fans to help him welcome the man who passed 1,000 days as champion, who you would tell your kids and grandkids about, the tribal chief. Roman Reigns comes out with Solo Sikoa and Paul Heyman. So we get massive pyro. Triple H applauds. And then Triple H, he congratulates Roman on behalf of the WWE and the fans on a milestone that's not been hit in almost 40 years. Triple H goes on and says, "It is his honor to present Roman Reigns with this new belt," which is great. I like it. It looks really good. It's a brand new WWE undisputed Universal title, which is great. So Roman then checks out the belt. He then raises it as more power goes off. So Triple H then puts the strap on Roman Reigns around his waist. Reigns says, he takes it all in to cheers and boos. Reigns goes on and calls Pennsylvania to acknowledge him, but he says it's no longer good enough. He just wants the entire universe to acknowledge him. So the Usos come out. Roman's pissed at this point. So Jimmy and Jay, they look on from the stage. and Solo stares back at them. So we come back from commercial. So Jimmy is facing off with Roman in the middle of the ring, while Jay and Solo look on. Heyman is also there. Reigns orders Jay to super kick Jimmy, but he won't. Roman repeats this because Jimmy kicked him in the face and cost him the titles on Saturday. So fix this, he says. Roman yells his orders again. Jimmy says Roman is the only one that needs fixing. And I love this. Like, the crowd popped huge when he said this. Jimmy says Jay can't fix this. Only he can. He kicked Reigns. Jimmy says he did what he did not to be the tribal chief and not to lead the bloodline, but he was being a brother, and brothers treat brothers with respect. And Roman hasn't been a good brother as of late. Jimmy asks what kind of brother manipulates and beats on his own family. Jimmy says Roman has gone crazy. Jimmy says it's embedded in him to protect his brothers, Solo and Jay. Jimmy looks at Solo and says Roman will use him up, manipulate him, and then kick him to the side when he's done with him. And then the fans pop massive for that, and then a massive Uso chant breaks out. Roman says fans are chanting for the Usos because of him. Fans boo. Roman says he's the tribal chief. Jimmy is just an imposter. Roman says, let's let Solo say who he's loyal to and who he runs with. So Roman hands the mic to Solo. Solo hesitates, but then he says he acknowledges his tribal chief, but those two are my brothers. And then Solo walks over and stands with the Usos to a massive pop. This thing was massive. I absolutely love this. This was absolutely tremendous. I was like, oh shit, this is such good shit right here. So Jimmy asks Roman, what's it gonna be? We run this thing together, dog? Or Us? With respect, or are you gonna end up on the island of relevancy as tribal chief all by yourself? And then Roman says, shut your mouth. And steps to Jimmy, but Jimmy mushes him back with a hand in his face. Jay says no and pleads with Jimmy. Roman approaches, but Jay gets in between both Jimmy and Roman. Jay says, not like this. He needs both of them. They can't fight like this. Damn. Jimmy says he's right. Jimmy says, let's do this together and have respect and run this place like we've been doing. Jimmy says, well, the bloodline still, right? Still family, right? Still the ones, right? Roman thinks it over and then hugs Jimmy in the middle of the ring to a massive pop. So Roman's acting super emotional now. And then Roman, he says no and steps back from Jimmy. So Jimmy's shocked beyond belief. Solo out of nowhere lays out Jimmy with a Samoan spike. And I was like, oh, shit. Solo yells out as Jay looks at him. Jay tends to Jimmy. Roman blushes into Solo, and they exit the ring. Solo looks down at his brothers. And Paul Heyman is on the right with Roman. And they're having a really good conversation. So, Paul Heyman stops Roman on the stage and asks him, what about Jay? And then Roman says, Jay will do what he always does. He'll fall in line. He'll come home. Damn. And then Roman keeps marching and then stops. And then he looks at back at the Usos and his hand goes off the air. This was great. This was absolutely tremendous. I absolutely loved every single minute of this. I loved every moment of this. This was beautiful from start to finish. Seriously. I don't have a problem with this at all. I'm trying to think, where does Cody fit into all this? Like, really? Because hopefully there can be another qualifying match for him to kind of get into. Or maybe somebody, may the creator forbid, but maybe somebody gets injured or what have you, and Cody is slotted into Money in the Bank. I don't know. But like I said before, I've said this for a few weeks now, that the Bloodline storyline has transcended championships. Roman doesn't necessarily need this anymore. I like this, but my thing is, I think what they're going to do, that being WWE, they're probably going to have the Usos feud with Roman individually. So we might see Jimmy versus Roman at Money in the Bank. We could see Jay versus Roman at Money in the Bank. Or we could see Jay versus Roman at SummerSlam. I don't know. But it seems like that's the route that they're going to tell. And that's just what it seems like. And I don't know where Cody fits into all this. I really don't. I couldn't tell you. As for Money in the Bank, if Cody is not in there, I'm going to go with LA Knight. And LA Knight more than likely would win. And he'll probably just be going over to Raw to feud with Seth Rollins, which would be great. So I'm not against that. But I don't know what they're going to do. I really don't. I don't. Me personally, I want this thing to be over with by SummerSlam, so we can continue the downfall of the Bloodline. But what it looks like, I think they're going to ride this out until next year. I hate to say it. I don't see Roman losing until WrestleMania 40. I hate to say it, but I don't know where you fit Cody into all this. I don't. With stuff like this going on, I don't. I really don't. I really, really don't. I don't know how they're going to do Cody and Brock. I don't. I'm hoping that they do Cody and Brock at Money in the Bank, and then Cody can get slotted in somehow to Money in the Bank. I don't know. It looks like they're just going with 6 people. So, I don't know. But, man, the Bloodline stuff was tremendous. I absolutely loved it. I can't wait to see what happens. It's very, very intriguing and interesting to see if Solo is going to wake up from Roman's mind control. It seems like he didn't. It seems like Roman has Solo under his wing. I'm trying to think, are they going to exile both the Usos? Because we know Jay more than likely is going to side with Jimmy. That's his bro. That's his brother. So, I don't know, man. It's going to be very interesting to, what's going to happen. I could even see them bringing in Jacob Fatu from MLW. I wouldn't be shocked. Again, that would make sense. Could you imagine Solo and Jacob Fatu? That would be tremendous. That would be a tremendous tag team. An unstoppable tag team, if we're being honest. So, I don't know, man. This thing has layers to it. And I'm all for it. But I personally don't want Roman to have the title anymore. I don't. I feel like you can still give us dramatic television without Roman having the championships. He doesn't need the championships. And speaking of that, are they going to retire both titles? Because Roman has 3 titles. So I'm still confused. Like, is the man going to carry around 3 titles? Like, we need to rectify this, like, quick. Like, ASAP. I don't know. But Smackdown this week was okay. The Bloodline stuff was tremendous. Everything else on the show was not that good. But what did you guys think? Let me know. Please hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe to my videos. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.